Hi, Gurkirat.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, I can. Thank you. Will you just hold on and let me get the other two as well? Um, Bhanu and Lalita, can you send me request each girls? That would be good. I don't know what's happening today and why. Okay, I can see one more. Great. But it is taking some time. Hi, Lalita.
Hello, ma'am. I'm good,
How are
ma'am. How
you?
are you?
Thank you. I am well, thank you. I am now just waiting for Bhanu to send
Yes,
me one
ma'am.
request. Um, I hope I hope she's listening. In the meantime, I'm going to start the conversation with the two of you. Gurkirat and Lalita, both of you are back, and it's good to see that you are back safe and sound. Gurkirat, let me start with you. When
I
did
came
you get
home
back?
like just day before yesterday. Yeah.
This day before yesterday. And okay, so let me begin with you and tell me about your experience. If you want to go into Punjabi, you're most
Okay.
welcome.
No, I'll talk in
That's
English
okay.
because I want my Ukrainian friends to see the live as well. So my experience wasn't so horrific. I was at the safest part of the Ukraine. I was on the western part. I was studying in Uzhhorod National University, and till now it's the safest part of like the whole of the Ukraine. Like everyone is asking the people to move to western part. So, but with the evacuation, there was an issue.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Lalita,
Ma'am,
what about you?
day
When
before
did you get
yesterday
back?
at night, 3 o'clock. Um,
And what was your experience about
Ma'am,
coming back?
I have reached my home day before yesterday. I'm from western part of the Ukraine, from Chernivtsi.
Okay. And what was your experience coming back, getting out of Ukraine?
Ma'am, when we know about that Kiev attack, we just got panic in that situation, and a day after that. After attacking that Kiev, we just got panic and we asked for help for Indian government to evacuate for us. And they responded as soon as possible and they started evacuation from the tomorrow after the day after attack.
So, and again, Lalita, do you want to message your friend on the side and just tell her if she wants to send me a request? Bhanu can just
Yes,
send me a
ma'am. I will
request
say.
to join live as well. है ना? And अगर हिंदी में if you know Hindi, you're most welcome to also speak in whichever language you guys want to. But Lalita, I just don't know how to speak in Telugu, so that's a bit of a problem. Gurkirat, you tell me, what is it like, leaving friends
It's
behind?
just so horrifying, to be honest. Like Ukraine was already my second home. I've been in Ukraine for 5 years. Like I got Ukrainian friends. I got friends from other countries, Nigeria, like USA. Like it was just, I felt like I was running from them, you know? Okay, I wanted to come home to my parents, but deep down in my heart, it was emotionally exhausting for me to leave Ukraine. Like the day I was packing, so I called my mom at midnight, like, Mom, can I stay? She started crying, obviously, but so I had to come back home. But it was seriously an emotional journey back home.
And there are also, I mean, from Punjab, there are many students who have gone to Ukraine, who go to Ukraine, and there are certainly some who have
Yeah,
still
I
not come back
know.
home, right? Especially from your
No, I'm
area of
from Muxar. I'm
Malepurha.
not from Malikotla. Uh, yeah, I'm from Muxar.
Oh, you're from
So
Muktsar.
yeah, I
Okay.
got friends there who were stuck in very, like worse situations. Like I was, have you heard about the shelling in Kharkiv today in the city center? So one of my
Yes.
friends, like he's from my city, I was on call with him today, and he told me like the shelling was just like 4 kilometers away from the place he lives, and some of the other friends of mine are like trying to escape to the west. They told me like but the situation is so bad. Like even to get to the railway station, he was telling me like they're using the help of some local police, and but they were not sure like if they could board on the train because the local peoples they were never like racist to me, but now they want the priority for the women, for the children, for the old age people. So even he told me like the people are carrying weapons and stuff. Even like if you have to board on trains, it's like a risk of your life to take. But staying in Kharkiv is even worse, like right now. So I was emotional, like I was.
Yeah, because there are Gurkirat, lots of news stories coming out, right? So sometimes we don't know what to believe because there's so much information coming out, and there has been information there has been it's not safe to try and escape either. So are those
It's
stories
not
really
safe
true?
to travel right now, but staying in Kharkiv is not worth it. Like my friends in Kharkiv told me, like all they hear all time is like the shelling sound, the bombarding, the bullets being fired, and they're scared as hell. Like the guy that is my friend in Kharkiv, he was one of the most bravest person I know myself. And the day I talked to him, and he started to cry. So that was the moment when I realized like it's better to escape than staying there. Like it's so bad situation back in Kharkiv.
But is there clarity for others as to when they will be able to be rescued? Because there's so many students who are still there, and of course the government is trying to get them all back. But is there a lot of panic, or are the children or the students getting clarity with the plan
They
of
know
action
nothing.
forward?
They literally know nothing. They like to the people who I have talked back in Ukraine, like especially in Kharkiv and Kiev. They told me like they don't see a hope of rescue at all. One of the guys told me like the Pakistan government has already evacuated the students from Kharkiv, and they were shocked to hear that Indian government has still not done anything for them. Okay, the evacuation is going on, but it's in the western part. But for reaching from Kharkiv to the western part, it takes almost like 12 to 12 plus hours. Like I don't know how much exactly. So it's really bad situation right now in Kharkiv and Kiev, and they hope they want like our Indian ministry or government to like have the evacuations plan with the Russian government because they're sitting very close to Russian border, especially in Kharkiv, so they can be easily evacuated to Russia. But I don't know. They don't have any hopes like what will happen or what will not. Like they are just sitting like blank at the moment, strangled by the emotions and stuff.
No, I think the flank with Russia is finally being opened, and I guess what you're trying to
Yes,
say is it could have been done earlier. Um, there are a lot of them, who are running out of water, out of food. Unfortunate. The
yes,
heartbreaking
yes, yes.
incident of the student who passed away today, who was killed today, was actually somebody who
Grocery
stepped
store, yeah.
out to the grocery store. What really is going on with the children, with their ration, with their food, with their
For the
basic
children who are
necessities?
in the hostel, I think they don't have any issue with the food. But obviously, for the students who are staying in the flats or apartments, they have the issue. They need to go to the grocery store to get their groceries because no one knew that all of a sudden, like a war would break down. Yeah, we had some idea that at any time it could happen, but it was not like it will happen the next day. So no one had the stuff, collected. Even the advisories from the embassy and from our universities were not so clear. They were like telling us if you want to leave temporarily, you can leave the Ukraine. And then the second part was like our universities. They told us that you need to wait. Not for my university specifically. They didn't say such thing. They told me like the classes will be online, just a day before the attack happened actually. So we were unsure. Like yeah,
Okay, I have. Yeah.
Ma'am,
No,
she
I have
she have
Lalita
sent
back.
you the
Yes.
request, Banu.
I'm not being able to get it, Lalita. I don't know why I have not been able. Banu, if you can hear me, just try and send the request again because I've got Lalita's and I've added her, but I've not been able to get hers. I will look through it again though. Um, but in the meantime, Lalita, just tell me, you have friends back in Ukraine who have still not been rescued, who are
Yes,
still
ma'am.
waiting?
In my university, there are nearly 400 members. They are evacuating today, and I have some friends in Kiev. They have been waiting in railway station since yesterday. I don't know, ma'am, but
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Bhanu. Yeah, carry on, Lalita. Bhanu, I'll just come to you.
they don't have contact. They are not contact with us. Don't know about the situation, ma'am, in the queue.
Okay, Bhanu is also somebody who's recently just returned. I think one of the fortunate ones who's managed to come back. Bhanu, good to see that you're
Thank
back safe
you.
and sound. Tell me, what was your experience like trying to get
Yes,
back?
ma'am. I see a lot of students stuck there in the border. We crossed very safely, and I'm very happy for it. But the students out there are suffering a lot, and they don't have proper signals. They're not able to call the parents, and also they are given shelters over there. They had to wait for almost 1 day, 2 days, and so long. And the students in the eastern part must be evacuated faster, I guess. A government should take more good action. I feel very worried.
Which
Uh,
border were you? Which border did you
Romania, ma'am.
get out of? Romania. Yeah, so I've been speaking to actually a lot of students. Somebody who's in Romania as well today, and he in fact wanted to join a little bit later. But he also told me that they have no clarity as to when they will join. So is that? And I was asking Gurkirat also the same question. Clarity of information, thi, or or it's not very clear what your next plan of action was.
For us,
It
we
is.
had the clarity of action in Uzhhorod. Like we knew that if something goes wrong, we'll be evacuated soon because we were sitting so close to the Hungarian border and Slovakian border. But for the others, not in the like eastern
Yeah.
parts, they were not having any clarities and stuff, you know.
Bhanu, what about you?
Yes, ma'am. We had clarity, and embassy people told us the before day they're going to evacuate us, and our consultants and our head also told us about the information, and they also told that you're going to travel by bus, and they sorted out people like our students in the list wise, ma'am, to evacuate. And
So Bhanu, tell me in the days before you were evacuated and before you could leave, what was it that you were seeing all around you? What was
we
happening
didn't have the
around you?
proper information, ma'am. They told like who wants to stay can stay, and it's safe to stay over here. No one expected that war would come, and like it would create such chaos, ma'am. And we had an exam called Croc. Again, we have to return to Ukraine to write, and also we have 100% attendance and all. So we stopped over there. And suddenly on 24th, there's a bomb blast in the Kiev. Then our university people rushed and started to evacuate me.
So there is obviously, I mean, you can't even talk about universities starting
Yes,
again. I mean, at this point, things are in such a big mess. I think the priority for all countries is to evacuate their citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
Lalita, I wanted to ask you as well. Aspas, all around you, what was the environment like? What was it, what was it that the children, the students were talking about? Were they able to connect with their parents who must have been terribly worried as well?
Yes, ma'am. They are not able to connect with their parents because there is a network problems in their country in the Kiev. So they are trying to uh, they are trying to come out from their problem with knowing with the friends, ma'am. Sharing the status in Insta and going live with the TVs. They are not able to connect because there is a network problem in their region.
Were, were you scared when you were
Yes,
there?
ma'am. I'm so panic after we heard that news about bomb attack in the Kiev, and we heard some sounds at the night, ma'am, like helicopter sounds, like bomb sounds, and we are so panic at that situation.
So, Bhanu, where were you guys, evacuated to before you crossed the border? Did you stay in the university? Did you have to move underground into one of the metros, or
no,
where
ma'am,
were
we were
you
at
all?
the hostel, and from there we had buses, so we traveled there. After we came, after 2 days, there was a siren near our university, and few of the students who were left there had to go underground. Man. And few of the students from other cities are traveling by their own, and no one is taking their responsibility. And also, after they reach the border, they are arranging the transport and they are arranging the shelters and all. I hope if they take measures before, like when they leave from the university, it would be good, man.
So, Gurkirat, a question to you as well. Did you also come across children, students? I keep saying children, you all are children for me, but did you come across students who were also traveling on their own, like
I
Bhanu has
was
just
evacuated
mentioned?
like on the first days of the evacuation, so I didn't come across any such students. But yeah, I have
Hmm.
friends like who are in my course, and they have like went to Hungary on their own, but they faced some issues when they went to Hungary on their own because they were supposed to get in contact with the embassy before leaving. They needed to, t let them know like they're coming. So the advice, even the advice has been now released that if you want to come on your own, you must let the embassies know before coming.
And how does one
There
do
are
that if
there are like
you're on the road and you
uh,
don't have a network?
even if you don't have a network, but you can still there is like you won't have an access to internet if you have a bad network in Ukraine, but still you can direct make a direct call to the embassy because there are like international numbers, Ukrainian numbers that you can call on even without the internet. Like so, they need to do that by call. But if you have an access to internet, you can send them a mail or something. I know that they respond to emails, but it's very important to let them know that you're crossing the border on your own.
Bhanu, were you able to tell your parents that you're safe and sound and that you are catching the
Yes,
flight back home, or is it only when you landed that your parents knew
no,
you had
ma'am.
come?
I informed them every time I traveled. I told them near the border. I had like proper signals there, but sometimes I was not able to inform them. After later, I called them and told. They were so tense, ma'am. 2 to 3 days.
Yes, it's a very, very tense time for so many parents. So many
Yes.
parents still waiting. I think the number of children who've been evacuated so far is about 2,000 students. And I think the number of students who are studying medicine alone in Ukraine is about 18,000. So that is a huge balance that still needs to be done. But I have a question which goes beyond the war. And Lalita, I'll start with you. Why did you choose to go to Ukraine to study medicine?
Ma'am, first we have my parents, they have searched for many universities, and they thought it is best for me because it is a safe place to study where there will be no wars like that. But we didn't thought that it would happen here.
No, of course.
Yes,
Nobody, I think
ma'am.
nobody can think that there's going to be a war in the place that you are, you're going to. Bhanu, are the degrees that you all get, are those degrees acceptable in India? Can you practice it, or do you have to give another test when you
Yes,
come back?
ma'am, it is recognized, and but we have to give FMG, ma'am. Whoever comes from other countries has to give FMG for sure, ma'am.
And so, Gurkirat, if somebody does not clear the FMG exams or MCI exams, I think they're called, right? What happens to that student after 6 years of studying abroad and you do not clear this one test? Does that put you in a position? How do students
I
handle
don't
that?
know. It's the worst thing that could happen to someone like who couldn't pass the test because without the test, we're nothing. Our degree is just a piece of paper. Yeah, we can practice in Ukraine, but most of the students that go to Ukraine don't know how to, fluently talk in Ukrainian language. So it's not worth it. So it's important for us to clear the test.
So why are there, and this is specifically to you, Gurkirat, why are there so many students from Punjab and Haryana who are in
My
Ukraine?
answer is going to be brutal. I don't know. It could hurt someone's, sentimental values. The category reservation in India, it's something that was my specific reason to go to Ukraine just to study in for medicine. I scored like just 0.5 percentile less than the actual cutoff that went for the NEET my year. But the people like for reserved categories, they had like far more or less like 70%, 60%, and they got this seats. It was very, it was an emotional time. I was depressed. And the second reason, when I had a friend in Ukraine, he told me like, it's better to come to Ukraine than, drop a year and practice. I dropped 1 year after my NEET, but the results were same. So I chose Ukraine. It was an easier option. I just had to go through an interview for the admissions, and I had the required percentage. So I chose the Ukraine.
And Bhanu, what about you? Why did you choose to go to the country?
Uh, I felt I went to many consultants, ma'am, and then I found this university where it is recognized, and also there are exams which we need to clear in order to go to other years. Like in third year we have CROC. If we pass, and then we go to the fourth year, ma'am. And the university is strict, so I thought it would be better if I join here.
Well, I hope that all of you clear your crucial MCI exams. But before I let you all go, there's one last question I want to ask each one of you. Lalita, how is it that people can, back in India, how is it that we can help all those who've been left behind for now, all the students? What is it that we still need to do to get more and more students back home to
We
India?
should first evacuate like eastern countries of the Ukraine because they are stuck there and they are struggling more for food like water and they are in bunkers. So we should evacuate for them, ma'am. Like in the countries in the Kharkiv, Kyiv. Yes, ma'am.
And Gurkirat, when you speak to, are you in touch with some of
I
those,
am.
colleagues who
I'm
have
in
been
touch
left
with
behind?
many of the people, but I just don't want to talk about the Indian students stuck in Ukraine. I want to talk about people, Ukrainian people. I have seen like so many emotional things when I was crossing borders or when I was talking to people in Ukraine. Our country needs to stand solidarity. We show solidarity with the Ukrainian people as well as for the Indian students studying. The evacuation should be boosted for Ukrainian for the students. Like when I was evacuated, there was only one plane traveling from Hungary to India and back. So there should be like the number of planes should be increased. Then secondly, uh, like for example, in every country there are like candle marches for for showing solidarity to the people of Ukraine. We need to do such things. We need to show the Ukrainian people that we stand by them. You know, I saw some videos because most of Indian peoples don't know the Ukrainian language. They don't know the right translation. So I saw a video of students getting beaten up by police and local at some border. It was going viral. So when I listened to it carefully, they were saying that your country is not standing with us. That's why they were trying to hurt them. It's not that they were doing some racism or something. It's just they were. It was like they were saying something like that your country's ministers didn't stand by our ministers in the UN or something. I don't know. Like that happened. So we need to show them that yes, we are with them in the bad time, and definitely we should help the Ukrainian people as well.
You spoke about some emotional scenes that you witnessed, that you saw. Do you want to share
We were in
something
the
that you
bus
saw?
for at the border for like 3 or 4 hours, and I saw like that the men aged from 18 to 60 are not allowed to leave the country. So yeah, so I saw
60, yes.
fathers hugging their children so tight, they all crying. The mothers, this wishing them the last goodbye because they don't know if it's the last goodbye or not. I saw our children running back from the border towards his father. Even though he had crossed the border, I saw him jumping out of the car and coming back to hug his father. So it was very emotional. It's just something that cannot be explained in the words.
Bhanu, any such, anything that really touched your heart?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything that you
I have,
saw there
yes,
that
ma'am.
you
I
want to
had the
share?
same experience. There were a old woman and a old man. He had to leave her and go. She didn't know whether she couldn't share anything with him, ma'am. Like she was just hugging him and crying, and a daughter was telling goodbye to her father, and he couldn't express his feelings in front of her in front of his daughter, ma'am, because he wanted to stay strong and stand for the nation. I felt very bad when I looked at them. I thought there is Indian embassy and which is helping us, but they don't have anyone to help. They have to cross the border by their own. I felt very depressed, ma'am, by looking at that. I'm not like really happy to come home also, ma'am. I'm just looking at the videos. It's so emotional, ma'am.
What would you, what is the message that you would send to your friends who've been left
Yes,
behind,
ma'am. I hope they
Bhanu?
come safely.
Can you, let me go to Lalita. Lalita, how would you encourage your friends to stay strong at this point?
Ma'am, I said that we stay strong and stay together and stay connected with the people. Hello.
Yes, I think everybody needs. Gurkira, do you Banu, do you guys have local friends there?
Yes,
Gurkira,
ma'am,
you
I
said
have
you have
many,
local friends as
many
well
local
in
friends
Ukraine, right?
because I've been in the Ukraine for 5 years already.
And
So,
yes, and their families must be all torn apart with
most of the families are torn apart here. Here,
somebody who
someone's
has
in
to
the
go into the
military, someone
military.
is stuck in Kyiv. I have friends whose parents live in some other European countries and they're just living alone here. Um, Everyone is emotionally devastated right now. Like they don't know what to do or what to expect from the next coming day. Uh, it's very, I don't have words to
Yes.
express what they feel every day. I was talking to one of the local friends of mine, and she told me like she haven't slept for the 5 days, past 5 days.
No, I think we can't really, we can understand,
Imagine, yeah.
but we can't really imagine the extent of really what is unfolding in Ukraine. Uh, and it's devastating. It's been devastating to hear about the death of the Indian student today as well. Um, Bhanu, I know you're
Yes,
very
ma'am.
emotional about all of this. Do you also know? And it's fair enough. I cannot again understand. Was it tough for you all? There's a question here. Was it easy to connect with the embassies?
Yes, ma'am. For us, it was easy. Our head was guiding us. He even came to Romania, ma'am, to see us. We had a hope that we would go home, and they gave us the surety that we will go home for sure. So we were not that afraid. But it was first flight, and we were the first batch who left Ukraine. But the second batch had to walk 10 kilometers around, ma'am, to reach the border. And the rest of the students were in the snow the whole night, and they suffered a lot, ma'am, without food. And they arranged the blankets later, ma'am. It was arranged, but they had to struggle a lot to cross the border, ma'am. There are even people who are stuck in the Romania border now also, ma'am.
Yes, I'm hoping to speak with one of them in a while from now. But Gurkirat and Bhanu and I think Lalita has joined me back. I just want to thank all three of you. Uh, I am really glad that you guys are all back safe and sound. Your family uh, is amongst the fortunate ones to get you back there. I cannot imagine the unnerving situation that so many other families across the country must be going through as they're still waiting for their children to get back from Ukraine. Wishing you guys all the very best. And I hope your friends and I hope your colleagues and your peers all stay safe and all get back home safely. So stay safe and these are tough times, but thank you all.
Thank
Lalita,
you,
thank
ma'am.
you
Thank you
also
very much.
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
joining me. Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Goodbye.